Take two. What's going on, everybody? It's great to have you with me. Super Wildcard Weekend has come and gone. Two teams within our division not only got victories, but one of them was rather convincing. Oh dear. Did the Packers really get another franchise quarterback? It's only one playoff game, but a heck of a turnaround for Jordan Love. Justin Jefferson, should we trade him? Really? No, but I'll get into the good and the bad, the pros and the cons on both sides of that coin, and let you guys know why I think it would be a ridiculous idea to trade Justin Jefferson. Want to thank everybody for showing back up here. I apologize. Had some things come up real quick, which is why I didn't go at my regular schedule time. So thank you guys for the loyalty. Appreciate it. And I'm going to need you guys to help me out a little bit here tonight. You know, my energy is a little lower than what it typically is, but that's life. You do what you got to do, and you take the punches and you roll with them. And as Prince said, if the elevator brings you down, go crazy and punch a higher floor. So we're going to get through this tonight. We're going to make this. Every time I start, I say I'm going to keep it under X amount of minutes. I'm really going to do it this time. Really, I am. So let me get some shout outs here real quick, and then we'll get into the topics. We'll talk a little Harrison Smith and Danielle Hunter. Have we seen them play their last games with the Minnesota Vikings? I hope not in the case of Danielle Hunter. And I'm not saying that in a bad way about Harrison Smith, but just kind of is what it is. All right, so I'm going to do some shout outs. Hopefully the people who were in the chat earlier are back, but I'm going to shout you out anyway. Sup, Brother Gary, what's going on? We got George in the building. We got Fig Nuts 35. What's up, Fig Nuts? Good to see you. Fig Nuts 35. We got our guy T-Bass. What's going on, T-Bass? Good to see you. We got a house call from the doctor. Dr. Proto's in the building. What's going on? VAQ, Embrace the Suck. What is going on? Good to see you here tonight as well. I want to mock Bob. I knew if we had a topic of trading Justin Jefferson that T-Bass would be here. Bob would be here. I'm guessing Two Evil's going to show up at some point here. Norse Vias. Yeah, I'm late. Sorry, guys and gals. Appreciate you, though. Grandpa Dave is in the building. If you don't hit up Vikings First and SKOL, hit them up on YouTube as well as your favorite podcast aggregator, whether that be Spotify, iTunes, or those are the only two I know, but I'm sure there's more of them out there. But I digress. Yeah, I'm digressing already. I'm scrolling here, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I gotta try to get my mind back right. Thanks for Purple and Go for I'm just kidding. And you know what? As long as we're at it here, if you didn't already do so, wipe your feet at the door. Hit them like buttons if you could, please. And if you don't already subscribe, hit that subscribe button as well. Yes, it does. And I'm not going to say I'm okay. I'm going to say we're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. But I got to entertain the masses tonight. Lord Duncan, Rock and World Food changing the name up, Lord Duncan. What is going on? Enough with the trade JJ talk just because we had one bad year. Well, I don't know. There's been one bad year. We're going to talk about both pros and cons. But thanks for coming in, Lord Duncan. I appreciate you as always. We got Mateo. What's going on? Do you think this all could have been avoided if we actually got Harbaugh? There's no way Kirk would have gotten a new contract. Well, we also could have avoided this if when we fired Zimmer and Spielman, we just wiped the slate clean at that point. You know, traded away Cousins, traded away Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith, Danielle Hunter. I mean, we'll talk about it, though. Shout out to Evil to Hope for the new membership. What is going on? Thank you. I appreciate you so very, very much. We got Roger in the house. What's going on, Roger? Good to see you. You guys are going to have to help me get the energy up tonight. I'm getting there. What's going on? There's my guy, Ryan. What's going on? Appreciate you as well. Hunter will cost at least $22 million. Yeah, probably. We'll talk about him, too. Sodak is in the building. Does TJ Hawkinson have no trade clause? I don't think he has a no trade clause, but you can't trade him because you would take such a ridiculous dead cap hit. So I'll just say that right now. My guy Rap still says Purple Pocket Podcast, even though he's changed his handle to Vocal Vike. So if you don't already subscribe to Vocal Vike, hit him up. Hit him up style, as they say. Yes. Rap did a video about trading Justin Jefferson. I don't know that he endorsed it, but I digress. All right. Let's kill the music. Get some serious things out of the way. Not so much out of the way, but let's just get her done. Shout out everybody who comes into the building, leaves me a chat, because I appreciate you guys so very, very much. But we also got to shout out after we take down the current comment. Let's try that again. We also got to shout out the active and veteran members of our armed forces for making this the greatest nation on the planet. The sacrifices that you have given and continue to give know no bounds. And shout out to your family members who had to sacrifice time away from their loved ones to keep us free, open, and, as I said, the best on the planet. Shout out to the brave men and women who serve as our law enforcement, our firefighters and EMS who in time of tragedy run towards the danger while the rest of us are just trying to get away from it. You potentially put your lives on the line every day when you go to work. So we're going to say thank you for keeping us safe and taking care of us in times of tragedy and beyond. Finally, to the doctors, nurses, frontline workers, surgeons, home healthcare providers for taking care of us in our time of medical need. Your Super Bowl is potentially saving a life. The men and women that I have shouted out in these groups at times can work thankless jobs, and we do not thank them enough. So I start off my show, say thank you to these brave men and women who take care of us every day. Every day. All righty. Get a couple more comments in here before they start piling up on me. I appreciate you, George. Appreciate you. Yes. T-Bass, Bob, you guys got some shout outs tonight. That's for daggone sure. That's for daggone sure. Okay. I'm good. I'm good, brother. I'm good. I appreciate you guys. I mean that sincerely. That I get a scheduled time, then something comes up and you guys and gals are all back here. So thank you so very, very much. All right. Focus. Here we go. Did I miss anybody? You know what? Before I get started, no, I'm going to do the JJ one first. We are going to announce tonight the winners of the prizes that Mary donated for all the donations for Mini-Me. I want to thank everybody who made a donation. Still taking them. Still got a little bit more to get close to the goals that we have set to be able to get her over to. Again, she's going. I'm just saying I need a little help. Anything you can throw at me. But I don't have any more prizes. Mary, thank you so very, very much for your donations. But we're going to announce that after the first topic here tonight. So, trade Justin Jefferson. I'm going to go through the pros and the cons on both sides. Let me be very, very clear right off the bat. No, absolutely not. Unless the Arizona Cardinals call you and say, we will give you the 2 first-round picks that we have in the NFL draft coming up for 2024, and we'll give you the 2 third-round picks that we have in the NFL draft in 2024. Because they made that trade with Houston last year in order for Houston to take both C.J. Stroud as well as Will Anderson, okay? So Arizona's got 2 firsts and 2 thirds in this season. If they called you and said, I'll give you both the thirds and the first and a first-round pick next year, my ears perk up at that point because that's a lot. I'm not saying that it's a done deal, slam dunk, but Arizona's got the 4th pick. And what was the other pick that Arizona has? Doesn't really matter. I believe they got 2 first-round picks. Either way, that's the type of package. 3 first-round picks and a couple thirds. And I don't think a team is going to be crazy enough to give up that much for Justin Jefferson or anybody else for that, other than Patrick Mahomes, maybe. Josh Allen, maybe. A wide receiver? I don't think so. With all that being said, anybody who has watched me knows that I am somebody that is willing to, for the sake of the goal is to win a Super Bowl, preferably before I die. I'd like to see at least one. That I'm willing to be done with the mediocrity. And in fact, if my last live was last Monday night, and on the thumbnail was Ziggy and Mark Wilf, and the title was Mired in Mediocrity. If you hadn't seen this one, go back and watch it, if you could, please. So you know that I'm okay taking a step back with the hopes of taking 2 steps forward. And it starts with the fact that we've been mired in mediocrity pert near my entire lifetime. I'll be 45 years old this summer. The Vikings rarely, if ever, train wreck, but they rarely, if ever, have 2 or 3 years of sustained success where they are competing for a Super Bowl. So I'm willing to take a step back. I'm not willing to completely blow the whole thing up, though. And Justin Jefferson, trading him would be blowing the whole thing up. What do I want the Vikings to do? I want them to finally trade up and get a franchise quarterback. I've made it clear that my number 1 quarterback is Drake May, number 2, Jaden Daniels, number 3, Caleb Williams. I would take any one of those 3, but that's the order I would take them in. Some say, yeah, I'd rather have Jaden Daniels than Drake May. Okay, that's fine. I don't care what order you put them in. That's my order. Yes. When Kirk Cousins went down, we were 4-4. We went 3-6 post Kirk Cousins. Victories against the Falcons, the Saints, and the 3-0 shutout pitchers duel against the Vegas Raiders. we had lost one more game, we would be at the number 6 pick right now. And oh, by the way, that doesn't mean I'm advocating tanking or losing and having a losing mentality. But what I am advocating for, oh, by the way, if we had lost that game to the Saints, the Packers wouldn't be in the playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about the results of Wild Card Weekend and what's coming up in the division around here later too. But yeah, I would have rather lost that game and kept the Packers out of the playoffs. Sorry if some people think that makes me a bad fan. No, part of being a good fan is rooting against your rival. And once you know that your team is out of it, you do everything to make sure your rival doesn't win or win a championship. And boy, the Packers look good. Anyway, Justin Jefferson. The reason I want him on this team is he is the best wide receiver on the planet. You don't trade away the best wide receiver on the planet. Even if you are willing to take a step back for a season, maybe 2, to clear your salary cap debts, get rid of all those dead cap hits because of all those void years, reset your roster and get younger. Yeah, I'm okay with that, but I'm not trading Justin Jefferson as part of that. That is a full-on tank job. That is, hey, we are burning it down to the studs, and that's not what I'm willing to do. Justin Jefferson right now is 24 years old. So even when he signs his contract of 3-4 more years, he's going to be 28 by the time, if you take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward, come back, come down a little bit, then to go back up a little bit more. He's still going to be a relatively young man. Tyreek Hill, the guy's pushing 30 now. And the Kansas City Chiefs got what? A first-round pick, a third, and some other change? I mean, you got to get more for Justin Jefferson than that. One, because he's better, although it's close. Cheetah had an outstanding season, and frankly, Cheetah should be the MVP if you ask me. I know we can say Lamar Jackson this, but I'd give it to Tyreek Hill. But neither here nor there at this point. For me, you have to come at me with a really, really humongous draft haul before I'm even considering it. I want Justin Jefferson to be here, along with Jordan Addison and hopefully the recovery of TJ Hawkinson, to be able to have all kinds of weapons for your next quarterback. Whether that's a bridge quarterback or whether that's somebody you draft this season, whether they sit and marinate for a year or whether they start right away, or whether maybe you give them 4, 5, 6 games with a veteran before the rookie gets tossed out there. Yeah, I want Justin Jefferson on this team to make that transition for a rookie quarterback. Look at what the Packers have with Jordan Love. They got Christian Watson, who's in and out, but they got a whole bunch of young receivers. Yeah, I want Justin Jefferson on this team. I know you have to give him $30-some million a year. That's fine, because after this year, if you're smart, you won't have an albatross of a contract and a big salary cap hit with one Kirk Cousins and Danielle Hunter and possibly Harrison Smith and a bunch of other guys. So paying Justin Jefferson $30 million, I'm okay with that. If you got a cheap quarterback, everyone want to talk about, oh, look at what happened with Jalen Hurts now when he doesn't have his star wide receiver. He's just another guy. Okay. But Jalen Hurts got to a Super Bowl and lost to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid by 3 points. Well, put all that stuff around Kirk Cousins. Let's see what he does. Well, you can do that with Jalen Hurts because he's not making a whole lot of money. He is now, but when that team was built, he was on a rookie contract. And that's what I want for our next quarterback, is to have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison et al. So no, I'm not doing it. Now, the flip side of it, just for kicks and giggles. Can I see the logic behind it? Yes, I can. If you can trade Justin Jefferson and get a top 5 pick plus other assets to take your quarterback, and then maybe you trade up and get Marvin Harrison Jr., would you be better off that route, swapping out Marvin Harrison Jr. for Justin Jefferson, not necessarily from a talent standpoint, but from a money standpoint? Yeah, I can listen to that. That was what we said about Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson. Stephon Diggs, he wasn't on a rookie contract anymore. Now, he wasn't making $30 million because that was, 5 years ago, that 5 years ago that Stephon Diggs signed his deal. Had to take some dead cap hit when we traded him. So I can listen to the logic. But as much as I want to say that Kwesi may or may not have been given a fair shake yet, listen, he doesn't walk on water and he's made some questionable calls. But I don't know that I trust and that I want to completely trust a complete overhaul. I don't mind a retooling, so to speak, but a rebuild where you get rid of Justin Jefferson? No thanks. Can I see the logic? Yes. If you can get a ridiculous draft haul in return, yes. But again, you could be drafting players that are equal caliber or slightly below Justin Jefferson. You cannot be. I'd rather have one stud than a bunch of picks. So no, I am not trading Justin Jefferson, hardly under any circumstance. Like I said, it's kind of like the Kirk Cousins thing. Would I take Kirk Cousins back if he took a massive discount? Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't like it, but I would live with it. But Kirk Cousins isn't going to take enough of a discount to make it worth it for me. And no team is going to offer enough return for Justin Jefferson to make it worth it for me. So I hear the arguments on both sides. I really do. I honestly do. And again, show me what the trade compensation would be. And I already told you 2 first-round picks, a couple of thirds, and another first or another second. That's where my starting point is. And I don't think there's going to be a team in the NFL that's going to give you that much. So it's a non-starter for me. Justin Jefferson is, outside of Patrick Mahomes, probably the best player in the NFL. It's one thing when the Timberwolves traded away Kevin Garnett when, he was on the back end of his prime and only had the twilight of his career left. Justin Jefferson is 24 years old. No. Not the fact that, I share the same name with the guy that makes it easy. Hey, who's your favorite? Justin Jefferson. I got to meet the guy. Hey, what's your name? Same as yours. But no, I'm not trading away Justin Jefferson under hardly any circumstances whatsoever. The price has got to be right, to say the least. And I don't think there's a team that's willing to trade that much for Justin Jefferson. So I'm just going to have to say I'm going to pass on that one. So there you go. All right, let's get back to the comments. Let's get some shouts to some people in here. Yes, go watch Reb's video after the show. And then after that, watch my show from last Monday if you didn't see it already. But I know I got some people in here that I haven't shouted out yet. That's about where I was. This thing actually didn't move on me today. I probably jinxed it, though. Shout out, Duncan. What's going on? Good to see you, Duncan. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us tonight. There was one more I saw in here. All right, hypothetical question from Grandpa Dave. Would the Niners have won all the Super Bowls without Jerry Rice? Would the Pats have gone undefeated without Randy Moss? Probably not. I'd say the 49ers would have won at least one without Jerry Rice, but I see your point. No, probably not. Shout out, Sarah, one of the queens. What's going on? You can have all the draft picks you want. Doesn't mean anything if you don't hit on it. In 2020, we had 15 draft picks. Only 3 are still on the team. Very fair point. Shout out in the Zone podcast. What's going on, Zoe? Good to see you. Good to see you here as well. Did I miss Berserk? Hold on. I better not have missed somebody. Come on. Well, I'll get back to it. If I missed you, put it back. Hold on just a second here, guys. This thing's frozen. Berserker's in the house, and the house is packed. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Dave, what would the Niners won without Young or Montana? Also a very good question. Shout out, Greg. What's going on, G-Mac? What's going on? Spoiler alert to Rab's video. George, you make a very, very good point. If JJ goes, Cousins too. Rap did say that he'd be willing to let JJ go if it guaranteed we didn't get Cousins back. I don't know that I'm willing to go that far, but it's close. It's very, very close. No, Bob, we ain't getting wins. No. You don't pay a wide receiver $35 million a year when your team is this bad. Your window of the Super Bowl is closed. I agree that the window for the Super Bowl is closed, which is why I wouldn't do it for Kirk Cousins. But Kirk Cousins is going to be 36, Justin Jefferson 24. But I hear what you're saying, T-Bass. I hear what you're saying. To me, like I said, if somebody says, "Hey, we'll give you a first and a third for Justin Jefferson," no, absolutely not. It's got to be a haul of a trade before I'm even considering it. You can say, well, what have the Vikings done with Justin Jefferson? Well, part of it is because the Vikings did not do what they should have done, which is to retool and reset the roster after 2019, and they've been throwing good money after bad for the last 4 seasons. Okay, since Stephon Diggs left after that divisional round playoff loss, the Vikings are 35-32. They've had 3 losing seasons and 1 winning season. Now, if we're going to say that that's not all on Kirk, I'm going to say the same thing. It's not all on JJ either. What did it get us? Well, I can hear it, but I'd still rather have that kind of wide receiver for my new quarterback. But that's just me. Mackinja brought up trading JJ to the Titans for the 7. I think a second and next year's first. Does that sound bad? That's not enough for me. That's not enough. I mean, yeah, if you got up to the 7th pick, you'd then be in striking distance to get either Daniels or May. But if I'm going to trade Justin Jefferson to get one of the quarterbacks, I also want to be able to get Marvin Harrison Jr. because I want 2 stud receivers for our new quarterback. So that's me. What's going on, Two-Tone? Good to see you. Appreciate you. Bad part can't. Yeah, I don't know that I can either. I totally agree. Get as good or better than a Herschel Walker trade. Yes. That part Yes. If you can get something like that, then I'm listening. Shout out to Evil for the $5 super chat. So the Vikings missing the quarterback of the draft. They don't draft 1-2 years after getting his contract. JJ Forson's on. We get nothing. Nah, because if it's after 2 years, he will have signed his contract. So he'll be under contract at that point. So we'd get something for him. But thanks for the super. I appreciate you. One Bar in Lubbock showed one of the early mock drafts. ESPN Penix. I like Penix. I don't love Penix. If Penix was there at 11 and we didn't have the opportunity to move up to get Daniels or Drake May, could I listen to Penix at 11? Yes. I could listen to Penix. I'm not as high on him as May and Jaden Daniels. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Shout out Dave Thibodeau. What's going on? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Malik, a nice wide receiver. Maybe. I don't know enough about him to have a refined opinion, so I'm not gonna fake the funk on you guys. I'm taking JJ at 11. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You're taking JJ. Wait. You're taking JJ McCarthy at 11, Zoe? Is that what you're saying? No, dude. JJ McCarthy might fall to the second round. I am not picking up JJ McCarthy at the 11th pick. If that's what you're saying? All right, let's hit the reset button. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and help me grow the channel. I am just 58 away from 1,000. So share this with your friends after the night is done and tell them to subscribe to your guy Justin on Purple and Gold for days. Sarah says I'm not taking an injury-prone quarterback at 11. I can listen to that, but I'm willing to roll the dice. But it's a whole nother conversation. Okay, it is time to finally announce the winners of the prizes that Mary donated for everybody who donated to Mini Me's Fund here. And I'll just remind people here real quick what is on the line. Or did this thing delete them? That would really... Oh, here they are. Okay, so we got 3 prizes. So we got 3 winners tonight. Prize number 1 is the Wood Arts and this limited edition drinkware set of the Vikings. We've got this chair cover. Not the leather chair itself, just to be clear, just the cover. And we also have the Randy Moss Hall of Fame 2019 plaque. Thank you, Mary, one more time for donating. All right, drum roll, please. The winners are as follows. Vikings Funeral, T-Bass, and SKOL for Life, Barber 1975. Congratulations. T-Bass and Funeral, I have your information. Barber, send me a message on the Twitter. And yes, I still call it Twitter, or send me a message on Facebook, whatever the case may be. So Vikings Funeral, you get to pick which one of the 3 prizes you want. T-Bass, you get to make the second pick. Barber, you will get the third, whatever the other 2 don't pick. T-Bass, I'll message you on Instagram after Vikings Funeral messages me back as to which one he wants, and I'll let you know which ones you have left. So thank you kindly, everybody. Congratulations. Everybody shout out Vikings Funeral, T-Bass, and SKOL for Life, Barber 1975. For winning the prizes. And everybody shout out Mary too. She was so gracious and wonderful enough to donate those to us. Okay. As far as this past weekend's games went, oh boy. The Houston Texans absolutely mollywopped the Cleveland Browns. For anybody that thought, hey, the Vikings should have picked up Joe Flacco. Well, now you see why the Vikings didn't. And the thing of it is about Joe Flacco, he's no different than Nick Mullins. The only difference is one thing and one thing only. Cleveland's defense a little bit better than ours. As much as we want to throw flowers at Brian Flores, of which he does deserve, for taking us from the 31st ranked defense to the 13th ranked scoring defense, so top half of the league, our defense is nowhere near what the Cleveland Browns was. And Joe Flacco showed why he was sitting on the couch. An absolute mollywhopping. Congratulations to CJ Stroud. So what you're telling me is you can take a quarterback in the top 5 and he can lead you to not only the playoffs, but a playoff victory? Wow. I didn't think that was possible. You know, the Kirk stands tell me, no. You got to let him sit for a couple of years. Well, maybe not. Kansas City Chiefs absolutely destroy the Dolphins. The Dolphins had no business being on that field. It was an absolute boring game. I know it was cold and all that other stuff. And yeah, I cannot wait for Bills and Chiefs. But okay, we'll see what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid got now that they finally have to go on a road playoff game. I'm going to skip the next one because I'm still disgusted by it. But we're going to say this. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions, not only for winning this division, but actually getting a playoff victory. And they get a home game next week. The Lions might got something here. Their defense still a little shaky, but they know how to play. Yes, their safety, little dirty, but this Detroit team's going to be around for a while. They're not going to be a flash in the pan. They got 2 to 3 years in them. Mentioned it earlier. The Bills beat the Steelers last night in kind of an ugly game. Bills looked like they were going to run away with it, and the Steelers fought back for a while. But once again, the Steelers, they were just kind of a team that snuck in, and you knew they were going to go out with a whimper. And congratulations to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for absolutely destroying the Philadelphia Eagles. 32-9. Should have been 10. Well, we kicked the extra point. Never take points off the board. Isn't that the old rule that John Madden said? Whenever you got points on the board, don't take them off. Yeah, you did your tush push and it didn't work. I'm really glad that it didn't. But interesting matchups. The Buccaneers going to go to the Lions. The Lions could very easily win that game. And I haven't made my picks yet, but they could very easily win this game. All right, so we've delayed the inevitable long enough. 48-32, the Packers absolutely mollywop and destroy the Dallas Cowboys. On one hand, I love seeing Mike McCarthy lose. I love seeing the Dallas Cowboys lose, but not when it's because the Packers beat them. And that team is on fire. As I said earlier, we only needed New Orleans to win one more game, and the Packers wouldn't be in the playoffs, and they're hot. They've got it all going on right now. Now, the Dallas defense didn't put a whole lot of pressure on Jordan Love. They made it. He was a statue back there, but he was making throws, and Aaron Jones was running all over the place. This Packers team is dangerous. I do think that the 49ers are ultimately going to beat them, but they've got a shot. They've got a shot to go and upset the 49ers if the 49ers aren't careful. Hopefully, the 49ers will be able to take advantage of that horrible run defense by the Packers more than the Dallas Cowboys would. But my, oh my, now we've got Detroit and Green Bay ahead of us. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're all 49er fans this weekend. That's for daggone sure. And I'm glad that that game is on Saturday, because if the Packers do somehow beat the 49ers, then I'm kind of pulling for the Lions. Now, if the 49ers win, I don't particularly care at that point. But I'm going to say this right now. Write this down, ladies and gentlemen. If the Packers beat the 49ers, I think they win the NFC Championship game, whether it's in Detroit or Tampa Bay. So fasten your seatbelts, buckle up, because Packer fans, as we know, can be extremely insufferable. They were 2-5. Hey, see, don't give up when you're 2-5. You could go on a magic carpet, right? Okay, that doesn't really happen all that often, but yeah, as far as the AFC games go, it's the division around the playoffs. Some would argue that this is the best weekend of football because you've got 4 games, 4 good teams, 2 that sat out on a bye, and 6 that won their games. But very good slate of football games. The Ravens, after sitting out on a bye, are going to get the aforementioned Texans. The Buccaneers going to the Lions, and again the headliner with the Chiefs and the Bills. We get Patrick Mahomes against Josh Allen in the playoffs in the divisional round again. We all remember what happened last time. So, looking forward to it this weekend. All right, back to the comments. You guys are lighting me up here tonight, and I appreciate it because I know my energy is a little bit down tonight. But having said that, I appreciate you guys and gals being in here so very, very much. What's going on, Gerard? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. I'm okay. I was supposed to go a little bit earlier tonight, but I had some things come up that I had to take care of. But I'm here. And I'm here with you guys, and I got 35 people in the building right now, and it really does humble me that the loyalty that you guys show. Let's wipe your feet at the door too. If you didn't already do so, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already subscribed to me. We got my SKOL brother, SKOL Mafia's in the building. Purple gang, what is going on? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on by. And I see some mentions from one of the queens in the house here, so hold on just a second. I got to get her. Oh yeah, you guys were shouting her out. Okay, buy cousin, sign Mullins, draft a quarterback. Yeah, that's next on the list. That is next on the list. And oh, by the way, I agree. No, George, not the leather chair. If you have any complaints, talk to Mary about it. There you go, Zoe. Shout Mary, you are correct. They could draft a D lineman and then move back in the first round for a quarterback. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. What's going on, Project Ez? What's going on? Do people understand you need 2 wide receiver 1 calibers on your team to make trading JJ doesn't do anything? Yes, I totally agree. Again, I wouldn't do it. I absolutely would not trade Justin Jefferson. I don't know if you heard the opening salvo on that, but I totally agree. Project, everybody shout out Project Ez. Thank you so very much for joining. I appreciate you. I disagree, T-Bass. Now's the next time with this draft class heavy with them. Yes, I agree. I totally agree. And that's a funny thing. Last year, was everybody saying when we wanted to trade up for Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud or maybe even Bryce Young, even though it, whatever. Oh, next year's draft class is going to be so much deeper. Let's just wait till next year. It's always going to be wait till next year. It's always going to be wait till next year. So no, let's get it done this year. Yes, absolutely. Love Mary. Thank you so very, very much, Mary. Just think possible for the Lions. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. 2010. Everybody want to talk about, hey, let's compare Jordan Love in his first season to Aaron Rodgers in his second or whatever. Yeah, the Packers were the 6th seed, the last team to get in. This year, the 7th seed, last seed to get in. Went on the road twice and took out. First, they took out the 3 seed Philadelphia, then the 1 seed Arizona, and then the 2 seed Chicago. And right now it's, hey, they took out the 2 seed. They're going to play the 1. But it was the Packers and the Bears in the NFC Championship game that year. And we're mired in mediocrity. But yes. No, if it's Lions and Packers, I'm pulling for the Lions all day. I get where you're going, Sarah, at the Lions, but nah. I will say hashtag ABGB, anybody but Green Bay. Anybody but Green Bay. The 2 most obnoxious family. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, yes. I will say this. You're right. Philadelphia fans are far more obnoxious than Packer fans. With Packer fans, you can sit down and have a beer with them and talk crap with them, whatever. Philadelphia fans, they're just not good people. I'm not saying all of them. So if this is a Philly fan that hears this, I'm not saying everybody. I don't judge an entire group by the bad ones, but I'm just saying they're terrible. I'm going to tailgate with my Niners and Packers wearing my John Randall jerseys. There you go. I like that. You like that? Yeah. Anyway. It was entertaining to watch the Cowboys and V. That is true. That is very, very true. Both of those fan bases talking all that mess to each other, and they both lose in the first round. There you go. Shout out, Angel. What's going on? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. If not Harrison Jr., would Odunze or Nabers be acceptable replacement? If you can get either May or Daniels, maybe. But other than that, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to entertain the thoughts of trading away Justin Jefferson's. Yes, Philly fans throw beers and they don't drink. Yeah, that's just really, really, really stupid. All right, Gary, thanks for stopping by. You have a good night. Rest easy, my friend. Rest easy. All righty. I know I haven't been on for 7 days. It's been 1 week, 8 days, 9 days, whatever, however many days it's been since whatever. Justin Jefferson should not be traded. He should be re-signed. Kirk Cousins, with all due respect, unless he's willing to take a massive, massive discount, should be told, hey, let me start that again because I'm going to have to cut this up for the podcast. Justin Jefferson should be re-signed. End of discussion. Kirk Cousins, unless he takes a massive discount, not a $5 million discount, not a $10 million discount, but I'm talking a $20 million discount. If not, then he should be shown the door and say, hey, thanks for the good memories. We appreciate you. I'll remind people one more time. He has a $28.5 million dead cap hit looming over us. How that breaks down is 10 and a quarter in the next 2 seasons, so 24 and 25, and then 4 in 25 and 26. And if he is not re-signed, all 28.5 of that million will hit the 2024 salary cap. Now, I don't want Kirk Cousins back, not because I think he's garbage. I just think with where this team is at, it's time to hit the reset button. Kirk Cousins does legitimately cover up some of the holes on this team, but he doesn't cover up enough of them for them to be a Super Bowl contender. So if I can't be a Super Bowl contender, why do I want to pay a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles that kind of money? So yeah, his market value is around $45 million. After being injured, his market value is probably about 40 because that's what Daniel Jones makes. And that's a little bit more than what Derek Carr makes. And even coming off an Achilles, I would put Kirk Cousins ahead of those two. If Kirk Cousins says, yeah, I'll take a 2-year, $55 million extension, I wouldn't like it, certainly wouldn't love it, but I would accept it. But Kirk's not going to take that much of a discount. So I don't care that Kirk says, yeah, money's not as important to me, just how it's structured. Translation, he wants guaranteed money for 2 years. Fully guaranteed for 2 years. Let us go back in time 1 year. The Vikings did offer him a 1-year contract extension fully guaranteed. Kirk Cousins says, no, I want 3. The Vikings then countered with a 2-year extension where only the first year was guaranteed, but it was a 2-year contract. Kirk said no. So why in the world would anybody think that the Vikings still want Kirk Cousins for more than 1 year? Kwesi has preached wanting to have salary cap flexibility and all these other good things, right? He's not, I don't think, despite what he said in the media last week. Oh, well, we want Kirk back, but, it's got to be something we agree to. Translation, I want him back for 1 year. I'm not giving him a contract that has guarantees beyond the 2024 season. So, no. To all the Kirk stands out there. See, Kwesi wants him back, and Justin Jefferson wants him back, so Kirk Cousins is going to be here. Well, maybe he is. But it's not done yet. It's not a guarantee yet. And I'm not saying this to be anti-Kirk. I'm just saying Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott are the same quarterback. They have the same mantra, the same resume. They're good, not great quarterbacks. You can do a lot worse than both of those guys. And I bring Dak Prescott up in this conversation because everybody says, Justin, you don't have the same energy for other quarterbacks that you do for Kirk Cousins. Yes, I do. Say the same thing about Jared Goff. Say the same thing about Kirk Cousins. Say the same thing about Dak Prescott. If I was a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'd be saying the same thing. I'm ready to be done with Dak Prescott. I'm ready to find the next guy because we've gone as far as we can with him. And we've gone as far as we can with Kirk. And oh, by the way, the notion of let's just re-sign Kirk, he's amenable to a discount, and let's build a team up around him. Isn't that what we've been doing for how many years? Haven't we seen that song and dance? And now you want to do it when he's 36 off an Achilles injury? No. So yeah, if Kirk Cousins said, hey, I'll take 20 million this year and 25 million next year, then his salary cap hits would be 30 and 25 because again, it's 10 and a quarter if you actually re-sign him into that. But I still don't want to do that because then you're just pushing out the void years again, the dead cap hits again. I'd rather just take the dead cap hits in one lump sum and be done with it. Pay off your credit card balance for the mistakes that you made since 2019 completed, where you've been trying to keep this window open only to have 3 out of 4 losing seasons. Just be done with it. Just move on. As far as the rest of the pending free agents, I hope that wasn't Danielle Hunter's last game with the Vikings, but I can understand if Danielle Hunter says, you know what, this organization has never given me the bag, so to speak. And ultimately, I'm going to test free agency and see how much I can get because this might be my last opportunity. I would not begrudge Danielle Hunter that. I still say that when Kirk Cousins went down, we should have just traded Danielle Hunter and got something for him because if he walks now, we get nothing. Well, we get a compensatory pick in 2025, and it could be as high as the 3rd round. Well, yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and all that other stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a 3rd round compensatory pick. It depends on how many free agents we sign this offseason. And we've got a bazillion different holes and about 30 some free agents. So I imagine we're going to be signing some of them, just saying. So do I hope the Vikings and Danielle Hunter can work out a deal that's amenable to both parties? Yes, I do. I bring Danielle Hunter back. I don't bring Kirk Cousins back. And I do re-sign Justin Jefferson. As far as Harrison Smith, I think we've seen the last of him in purple, unfortunately. Been a great career. Definitely Vikings Ring of Honor, no question about that. The week 1 game, our home opener, if he does retire, should be to enshrine number 22 into the Ring of Honor for a second time. As far as I am concerned, I think Harrison Smith is probably the 3rd best safety I've ever seen. Paul Krause, absolutely forever emeritus, will be the best safety in Vikings history. I would argue Joey Browner at 2 and Harrison Smith at 3, but if you wanted to put Harrison Smith above Joey Browner, I'm not going to argue you to the death. What I am going to say is what a great career. And it is unfortunate that he didn't always get the recognition that he deserved. And I hope that lack of always being appreciated by the national media, number of Pro Bowls and all pros and all that other stuff doesn't keep him from getting into the Hall of Fame. I think he should get into the Hall of Fame, but I'm not convinced that he will. But he's got the numbers. His stats are very comparable to Troy Polamalu. I mean, if you're going to talk about Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed, you got to talk about Harrison Smith too. So congratulations on the great career. It made it look, he made it sound like he was done. And I'm not saying that we know that for sure. We don't. But he made it sound like he was ready to be done. And if that's the case, hey, ride off into the sunset. Wish we had a better season for you to ride off in than the crap that we had this past season. But even if he's not ready to be done, I don't think the Vikings bring him back. Even if he was amenable to a contract cut like he did last year, which he's under no obligation to. He's already done that once. He's already given enough money back. I just think we're ready to move on. You got Cam Bynum, Josh Metellus. The organization is going to want to hope upon hope that Lewis Cine can turn into something other than, a bag of peanuts. But, his play was just kind of what he had. That great game against Carolina. Absolutely. But what else did he do this season? Not a whole lot. So I think we've seen the last of Harrison Smith. And if so, thank you for the great career, the great memories. You should have been up for Rookie of the Year. I think you had 3 pick sixes in his rookie season. 3 pick sixes. I mean, that's pretty daggone good. That's pretty daggone good. All right, let me get some shouts. So I think I saw somebody. Didn't I see SKOL for Life Barber in here? I thought I did. Hold on just a second, you guys. You all know how much we like to shout out people. That's our thing in this group. That's our thing in this group. But if the Lions win the Super Bowl, we're the only team right in the that hasn't won. Yes, unfortunately. That's the thing. I can't let I will take the Lions going to the Super Bowl over over the Packers any day of the week. But yes, to see the Lions in or win a Super Bowl in my lifetime before the Vikings, that drives me nuts. But it'd be better than Green Bay. For Vikings fans, it's always wait till next year to be able to do. Yes, it's always wait till next year to get a quarterback or to do this or to do that. Oh, you Lions fan. All right, Gerard. Hey, you know what? Congratulations to your team. Great game. And like I said, if you guys end up facing the Packers in a week and a half, as much as I just said, I wouldn't like to see your team in a Super Bowl in my lifetime before mine. Just make sure it ain't the Packers. Okay. Just to be clear, if the 49ers win and you're playing them, I'm pulling against you. But I'm just going to be honest with you. But it's all good. It's all good. And the thing just skipped on me. There he is. Shout out SKOL for Life Barber. Congratulations. You did win one of Mary's prizes. Again, you get the third choice. So again, after T-Bass and Vikings Funeral make their choices, I'll let you know. So hit me up on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever, and send me your address, and I'll get that over to Mary, and I'll let you know which prize you ended up getting. Shout out to Toy Box. What's going on? The Vikings will trade JJ for first-round trash, but just for Lucy. Oh, gosh. Please, Toy Box. No. Get Kirk out of here. I totally agree. Shout out to Minnesota Sports Talk, Al Smith. I'm here. My dad says, heck nah to the JJ trade. Thank you. I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate you. And I agree. Absolutely not. I don't care if Kirk wants $5 million. No. I can listen to that, Zoe. I can listen to that. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to move on. And here's the thing. I'm ready for this team to just accept that we need to take some drastic steps to get out of mediocrity. And you know what Kirk Cousins does? He makes you train wreck proof. If you have a healthy Kirk Cousins, you're not winning any fewer than 7 games. If you told me, hey, do you want Kirk Cousins? You want to win 7 to 10 games and maybe squeak into the playoffs, or just take a year and take your lumps and rebuild the roster? I mean, let's look at this past season. The Vikings were 4-4 with Kirk, like I said, end up 7-10, go 3-6. We had to suffer through a 7-win season. It would have just been better to suffer through a 4-win season, wouldn't it? It's pretty much the same, except you're better off on the flip side. It's not me saying that I hope that the team is bad or that I hope the team loses, like my normal Tuesday night compatriot would say. But anyway, all right, I'm going to get these last chats up here. Shout out, Dan. What's going on? You pay superstar like when you're on the verge of winning the Super Bowl. The Vikings are not on that verge. There's a point to be made there. But I like this one from George. The Vikings have too many holes. Totally agree. That's why we just need to just say, hey, let's instead of patchworking all of these holes. This is like a construction company that just fills potholes and then is suddenly surprised that every summer they got more potholes to fill. No, repave the whole road. Rip the Band-Aid off. Be done with it. Please. I don't say guarantee anything, but it does give us a far better chance. Ooh, maybe. Paul Krause is the best there. Yes, totally agree. Totally agree with you guys. I never actually saw him play, but I actually did get to interview him once. Dave and I got to interview him once. I think it was after the Colts game. We had him on one of our Tuesday night shows. So if you want to see it, it was a little difficult. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning. It took him like 10, 15 minutes to get on, and he couldn't always hear us, but he did provide some great insight, some absolutely great insight. Lions deserve something good for a change. Lions, Bills, somebody got to win. No, it needs to be Vikings, Bills, and somebody's got to win. No to Kirko, save the money. Wish Hunter stays. Totally agree. Reallocate money to other needs. Yes. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. Absolutely. You're here. There you are. Like I said, shoot me a message. Let me get your address, and I'll get that over to Mary. The Vikings are behind the whole division right now. We're talking about draft picks with these coaches not developing players. Well, we are definitely behind everybody except maybe Chicago. But Chicago took their lumps, went down, and they're on their way back up. What did we do? We just stayed there. We didn't get any better, and we didn't get any worse. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. Sometimes when you lose, you really win. All right, SKOL Diesel, what's going on? Good to see you. Rumors are just rumors. The Wilfs are not. Thank you. That's a very, very good point. The Wilfs have are going to need to be convinced to not bring Kirk Cousins back, because they're going to need to be convinced that it's okay to have a bad season and to not always push all your chips in. And if you're going to tell me that the Wilfs are going to do everything they can to stay mediocre, to stay competitive for what? Competitive for making the playoffs and getting bounced. Oh, well, the Packers just made the playoffs and they won their game. Okay, great. That can happen once in a while, but I'm talking about sustained success. But I agree. I don't think that any of this is going to matter, because I don't think the Wilfs would ever trade Justin Jefferson. So thank you, SKOL Diesel. Thanks for coming on in here. I appreciate you. G-Mac. Yeah, thank you, Duncan. Yes. Again, you're treating the symptoms, but you're not actually curing the disease, which is mediocrity. I can't seem to quit you. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Gary. You probably mistyped some stuff. All right. I would really like to put my wonderful prize back into the drawing. Not that I'm appreciated, but there are fans here that would appreciate me more. Rap already spun the wheel. I'll tell you what, T-Bass. I'll tell you what. If you would like to decree your prize to somebody here in the chat, put it in the chat who you want to decree it to. Put it in the chat who you want to decree it to if you really want to go down that road. Shout out to Zoe. We're not even mediocre right now. The Packers are a young team and a young quarterback, and we ain't doing bleep. Mediocre is a loose term, because some people say, well, the Vikings are bad. Well, no, we weren't bad. We only got blown out once. We were in almost every game. And if Kirk Cousins hadn't got hurt this, and if our defense hadn't fallen apart at the end of the year, that's if and buts, candy and nuts. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, doesn't really get you anywhere. Thank you, Taylor. Shout out Polishman87. What's going on? Good to see you. Thank you so kindly for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I think I'm going to wrap here in just a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to say that I apologize again for having to reschedule, and I appreciate that you guys and gals all came back and were with me here tonight. I needed a little pick-me-up, and you guys absolutely always provide that. And it's something that Rap says, Dave from First and SKOL, Tyler, and Darren. One Bar Lubigus. Doing content is a grind, and it's fun. We love talking about the Vikings. We just want to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl before we die. But at the end of the day, it makes it so much easier when we've got people in the building here with us, throwing up chats, conversations. You do deserve it, T-Bass. But I'll leave it up to you. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out, T-Bass. You absolutely do support the community like crazy. So I got 2 more minutes, T-Bass. So if you want to decree it to somebody, just let me know who you want me to decree it to, and we'll get in touch with them. But for right now, anyway. Norse Vias. Okay. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. There you go. Anyway, as far as my schedule goes, I don't know if I'm still going to do Thursday Talkers now that the season is over. I'd like to say that I'm going to do more than one live a week, but a lot of things going on right now. Got daddy duties and all that other good stuff. Tonight was fun. Pick her up from after school programs just to feed her and take her back for play practice, because she's going to be in the school play. And then some other stuff come up here. But having said all that, all right, T-Bass, I'm going to shoot you a message. And if you want to decree it there, you can. But I got to email Ashley and Vikings Funeral to see which ones they want, because I didn't see either one of them in here tonight. So they'll get the first crack at it, and then you can decide which one you want to take. And then SKOL for Life Barber. You know, Rap, if you still got the spinner, then spin it again. Yes, I got you, Lord Duncan. I did see you. Again, my schedule and a lot of things going on. I did see you, Lord Duncan. So I will get back to you on that. I will definitely get back to you on that. And we'll definitely support you. We'll get everybody in the community to come on over to your page and see what you got going on. Absolutely. But I got you. I'll try to email you tonight if I have a moment. I just got a few other things that I got to wrap up here tonight as well. Hold on just a second, you guys. No, please, too evil. Don't do that. None of those too evil. Stick with what you got. I've gotten used to it. I've gotten over it. I'm embracing it. Don't change it on me now. Just leave it the way it is. Okay, so T-Bass, I'll give you the scoop here one more time. So these are the 3 prizes. First prize was the wood art and the Vikings glasses. Second one was the chair cover. And the third one was the Randy Moss frame. Viking Funeral gets the first pick because he was the first one to win. So you will get to pick the remaining 2, and then SKOL for Life Barber will get the third one. So I'll shoot you a message, and you can let me know after Vikings Funeral picks his. If you want one of the remaining two, if you wanted to agree to somebody, but let's see here. Can't trade JJ. Daniel needs somebody. Yes, I said that. Go back and watch it at the beginning. Go back to watch it at the beginning. I went through that, but yes, that's exactly what my number one point was, is I want Justin Jefferson here for whoever the next quarterback is. With all that being said, one last time, T-Bass says, who would like my prize? So put it in the chat. First one that gets in gets it from T-Bass. And whoever does win this, hit me up on Twitter. That's JDAY_24. No, it's what is my handle? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? JDAY_24. JDAY. All right, so Lord Duncan was the first one in. All right, I got you, Lord Duncan. I got you. Bidding is closed. Bidding is closed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. If the elevator brings you down, just go crazy and punch a higher floor. SKOL to the next episode. Hit that like button on your way out if you didn't already. Hit that subscribe button if you don't subscribe already. Subscribe to the Vikings First and SKOL podcast feeds on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast aggregators. And tune in tomorrow night to Vikings First and SKOL for the Real Forno show, live at 6:05 Central Time over on the Vikings First and SKOL YouTube page. And I just want to say so very, very much how much I appreciate every person that comes to the door and that has supported me over the last year. It's been a crazy year, just kind of like with the Vikings. It's been crazy year, as Sid once would say. So thank you kindly, as always, for joining me. SKOL to the next episode. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the share button. Put it out on Twitter for me. Put it out. Put the word out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. SKOL Vikings and SKOL 49ers. Just beat the crap out of the Packers, please. Pretty please.